Hello, this is Jewel Smith, middle-aged gamer mom, writer, and crafter. And it's Maker Monday. Today for Maker Monday, instead of doing jewelry, I thought I would do something a little bit different. I am going to work on these prismatic shards inspired by Stardew Valley. If you've played Stardew Valley, you know that prismatic shards are pretty rare in the game and very valuable, very useful, and very pretty. I wanted to try to make my own version of prismatic shards. And what I ended up doing was buying some rounded river rocks. That's what they would look like when they're not painted. And I got a bag of these from Michael's craft store. It didn't cost very much. I think it was like maybe $3, something like that. It wasn't terribly expensive. I got some, well, there's various colors in the bag of rocks. I picked out the ones that were lighter. I've tried a few that are darker. It seems like I get better results with the ones that are lighter. Not black rocks, but tan or beige. And then I went and bought a whole bunch of nail polish. That was actually the most expensive part because each individual bottle of nail polish cost $3 or $4. I didn't buy expensive nail polish. I bought cheap nail polish at the drugstore. But getting it in each color of the prismatic shards in the game. Now in the game, if you haven't played Stardew Valley, I do have a Stardew Valley playlist on my gaming YouTube channel, which is Jewel Smith, on Twitch and YouTube. You can find me under the name Jewel Smith. But in the game, the prismatic shards don't exactly follow the rainbow. It doesn't go Roy G. Biv with Violet over here. It has the Roy Jeeb, and then it has Violet over here next to the red, is how the shard is in the game. And so that's why I've painted them that way. Now you'll see some of these are in various stages. I start by painting the yellow stripe down the middle. That just kind of helps give me a sense of where the center is so that I can space my other stripes accordingly. And then after that dries, because you can't paint all the way around because you have to let it sit and dry. So if you paint all the way around and then you set it down, it's gonna stick to your paper or whatever. I had a little, I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. I had a crystal rock, this thing here, that's got several points on it. And sometimes I would set the rocks on that to dry. Like if I painted all the way around one end and I wanted to set it there to dry, because it would kind of sit there and have that painted end elevated while it dried. You could do something like that. But basically I would just paint each stripe one at a time. So like here, I did the yellow, I did the green, yellow, green, and orange, yellow, green, orange, red, and I would just do each stripe one at a time on one side at a time. And then maybe flip it over and do the other side. So I would paint straight across, and then after it dried, flip it over and paint from, this end to this end to make the rest of the stripe. And you can see here where it kind of overlaps. And I would usually do 2 or 3 coats. Now I know that sounds really time consuming, and it was, but I wasn't just sitting there doing only that. And that's one of the reasons I also have several going at a time. So like I could be painting several stripes at a time and having them all sit out to dry. But I also do it while I'm doing other things. So like if I'm surfing the internet on my computer or I'm watching YouTube videos or something like that, then I might sit and paint rocks while I'm doing that. Because it's just something that I can, I can paint a stripe and set it down and watch some YouTube video a little bit and then, paint another stripe on something else. You know, that kind of thing. So, you know, so this is kind of an ongoing process. And eventually, through the process, I got several finished. And after painting one side and then the other, some of them I left the way they were when they were painted. And some I coated with glitter nail polish. I've got a couple different types of glitter polish here. There's this one, which I think, yeah, it's called Disco Ball. This one's been painted with just Disco Ball. This one, I believe, has been painted with this, which is metallic white. Make it kind of shimmery. And then I think this one was painted with both Disco Ball and metallic white. And you can see how they kind of compare to each other. Now, some people prefer them unfinished. I kind of like the sparkly coating. To me, it makes it look a little bit more like the magical rocks in Stardew Valley. This here is a piece of paper I used as a test. So when I first got all of my nail polish colors, I painted this piece of paper just to see what they would look like. And then I tried putting a little coating over them just to, you know, do a little test before painting the rocks. Now these over here were painted with paint markers. And I'll grab a few of these to show you. This is a set of paint pens that I bought on Amazon. So this is the brand. This is what they are. They are, I think they're fine tip. Yeah. So there's the tip. But the challenge with these was trying to find a package of markers that had all the colors that I needed for these. But the problem with the paint markers, as you can see here, I'll compare the two. Or compare this one and this one. This one, the color, these are a lot easier to use. The paint markers are much easier to use than the nail polish. They're easier to control. I mean, unless you're used to painting with nail polish, you know, the paint markers are easier to use because they're just like using a pen or a pencil or a marker or whatever. And they dry a lot faster, but you can tell that the color is not as shiny. I mean, they'll do, you know, they work all right. But I like the shiny, glossy color of the nail polish. So I'm gonna do all of my rocks with nail polish and not with the markers. I just wanted to see what would happen if I used paint markers. You know, like I said, I found that it was easier to control them, but I didn't like the color as much. But once you put, now this one I put Disco Ball over the paint markers, and it made it almost, I mean, you almost can't tell the difference between these two. So, you know, if you want to go that route, if you want to do paint markers and add the little shiny coating, it makes this look brighter and shinier and more like the nail polish rocks. So, you know, that'll work. That'll work too. So let's see, what's the next thing I can paint on one of these? Let's do some yellow on this. I'll connect the yellow stripe around the back and you can see how I do that. Here's my yellow polish. Looks like it needs to be shaken up. All right, so around the back, I'm gonna take a look at where these edges need to connect. Like that. Alright, and then I would just, you know, do that. And set it back down and let it dry. And move on to the next one. This one's already got the yellow painted around the back side, so we'll paint the green. That's this one. This was not an easy color green to find, let me tell you. This is limestone, 620 of Sally Hansen. But I was trying to match the colors of the prismatic shard as closely as I could. Here we go, green stripe. All right, let's take a look at this one. This one looks like it's getting pretty close to being done. It needs the purple on this end. Here's my purple polish. It's called Dream On. All right, but then that's what I do. I sit and paint the rocks and make rainbow shards. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my Stardew Valley Prismatic Shard project. Thanks for hanging out with me. You can find me at patreon.com/JewelSmith or on YouTube and Twitch. I have channels there under the name Jewel Smith. I'm on Twitter as Jewel Smith, and my jewelry website is jlhjewelry.com, and my jewelry YouTube channel is JLH Jewelry. Hope to see you again next Maker Monday.